Everyone is always telling you breakfast is the most important meal of the day. We get it, but why is it so important though? No, it's not because of the energy. There's so many people that eat only once a day and they have energy throughout the entire day. Also, you've probably seen that straight after you have breakfast, you're not really just bursting out of energy. If we gotta be honest, sometimes the only thing it does is make you feel less hungry. So why does everyone say it's so important? Well, the people that skip breakfast every day have a higher risk of forming type 2 diabetes, and that thing is irreversible. They also have a higher chance of getting their arteries clogged up, and they're generally just less likely to live longer. But if you have food is only one part of the equation. It's even more important what you have for breakfast. The first meal of the day is supposed to get you enough energy, just get you focused mentally to go and do your work, and also put you in a nice, good, uplifted mood. That is why in this video we're covering the 4 tips that will help you make your breakfast the best. Let's go. Tip number 1 is cut down the sugar, dude. For about 4 or 5 years, I had the same thing for breakfast almost every single morning. I had cereal or I had granola. I thought these were foods that were giving me energy that will last hopefully until lunchtime. But that never happened. By the time I ended up in uni or at work, I was already hungry, I was feeling a bit moody, not necessarily focused or interested, and I needed another meal. Now, to explain to you why this happened, I need to bring you guys back to science dump.
Yo, what's up? I'm here to tell you what the story behind the sugar crash is. When you eat some tasty carbs, your gut needs to break them down into single energy fellas called glucose. Once they're separated, each one escapes into your bloodstream. That's how it can reach every cell to deliver energy. At the same time, your pancreas produces insulin, which also enters the blood to help your cells accept the glucose. So, you've got tons of glucose and insulin going around your blood. This loads up all the cells with glucose. After 2 hours, most of the glucose is already gone, but some insulin is still left over and it uses some storage glucose. And that's when the sugar crash hits you. Sadly, you can only fix the sugar crash by eating more sugar, but if you eat too much, another sugar crash will hit you. That's why the best way to prevent a sugar crash is to avoid having too much sugar on an empty stomach.
So hopefully by now you see that sugar in the morning is definitely an enemy. About 2 hours after you eat it, you feel worse off than before you had breakfast. So the tip number 1 is eliminate all sugar that you can from your breakfast. That means change the foods that you eat in the morning for less sugary, less sweet options.
So here are a few healthier food swaps for the most popular sugary breakfasts. If you scoop cereal or granola out of a bucket-sized bowl every morning, you could go for some nice oatmeal instead. I'll talk about this again later in the video. If you're the one that has a toast with peanut butter and jam on top, you could easily drop the refined sugars with almost no change in flavor. Just go for a wholemeal slice, spread it with a bit of raw almond butter and put some banana or another fruit on top. Also, that bottled fruit juice isn't truly that amazing. You're much better off squeezing the fruit yourself, and if you really want to be good to your body, you can just eat the whole fruit instead. Alright, that's it. Let's get back to the video.
But very often, when you cut down the sugar, you need to change the foods altogether. And those are the same foods that contain what we're going to talk about in tip number 2, which is add some more whole grains. People that consume enough whole grains every day have an improved digestive system altogether. They have an improved cardiovascular system, so how good the blood moves. There is also lots of studies showing the reduced risk of cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, and bowel cancer just because people ate enough whole grains. So what are whole grains anyways? See, over here, this is the refined grain. This is the part of the grain that they use in white flour. And over here, this is the whole grain, the entire package, if you will. It has the germ and it has the bran around it. And the germ is very rich in vitamin E and lots of B vitamins. It has some phytonutrients that help you fight away oxidative stress. It also has the bran around it, which is high in B vitamins, again phytonutrients, and has lots of fiber. So basically, you can substitute the cereal in the morning for some nice rolled organic oats. You can put blueberries on top, you can put bananas on top, you can put cinnamon and honey, you can put coconut. If you're not feeling creative with your oatmeal in the morning, I'm going to put down in the description below a link to an article that helps you build the best oatmeal ever. Check it out, it's not my website, but feel free to go and visit it. Tip number 3 in having the best breakfast is step up your protein game. Every cell has proteins inside of it. Anytime you get any protein from your food, most often it gets broken down into small pieces, and these pieces are used as building blocks for certain cells. So you need to make sure you get enough protein with every meal, including breakfast. If you're looking for a quality animal protein, you could go for something like eggs or salmon, or like natural yogurt with biocultures. They bring you lots of protein with little to no saturated fats. If you're a vegan, you can have some nuts. Nuts are an incredible source of protein, quality fats, and lots of minerals. Vegans can also choose stuff like legumes, like lentils and beans and things like that are rich in good proteins and also have some of the healthy carbohydrates. And finally, tip number 4 is have some healthy fats. When it comes to fats, we got a little bit of everything. We got the good guys, we got the bad guys, we got some that are in between. Fat is another example of something that's a building block inside your cells. You need to make sure it's coming from the right source. The ones that we call the bad guys are the trans fats. This is something that's contained in margarine and sandwiches with margarine. It's also found in foods like pies, biscuits, cakes, cupcakes, anything with frosting on it. Trans fats increase your risk of heart attack and overall death by a lot. So just like sugar, you need to avoid them as much as possible. The guys kind of in between are the saturated fats. These are most often foods from animal origin, like the fat in meats, like butter, like cheese, but also coconut oil. Coconut oil has shown lots of benefits for your entire body, but is still kind of laying in between good and bad just because it's so high in saturated fats. You can generally eat a small amount of these, but you shouldn't go overboard with it. Then we have the good guys, the unsaturated fatty acids. These are often the fats that are used in vegetable oils, but also things like nuts and seeds and high quality fish. They have shown incredible importance to developing your brain and preventing neurodegenerative diseases. If you don't want dementia or Alzheimer's disease, you better make sure you get enough healthy fats. In your breakfast, make sure you cut down on red meat and butter and substitute them for things like nuts and seeds and high quality fish. There we go. That's it, amigos. 4 tips to make your breakfast the healthiest it can be. Number 1, cut down the sugar, dude. Number 2, add some whole grains. Number 3, step up your protein game. And number 4, go for some healthy fats. And because you guys know I'm good on recommendations already, here's the next one. For the next week, every single morning, write down in your phone, in the notes section somewhere, what you had for breakfast that morning. List out all the ingredients, and after 7 days write down how it makes you feel throughout the day when you have a better breakfast. And with that, we finished today's video. Thank you so much for watching. It was quite difficult recording this about 5, 6, 7, 8 times, but I think I did it this one, and I'm really grateful for you guys visiting here and enjoying my videos. If you liked what you saw and you like my videos, make sure you hit like and hit subscribe and share it on social media so other guys can see it as well. So until next time, stay healthy. I'll see you soon, amigos.